We need to show people that a true selfless act always sparks another. Hello, and welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khaleel Warden. On this episode, I'll be talking about the Netflix movie Claus. And I would say it's the origin of Santa Claus. That's how I would describe it. Uh, it's definitely a different type of story about Christmas. The story follows Jasper. Jesper, he he's supposed to be a postman. Like his father runs this big, post office company, and he hosts like this military type training for postmen. And Jesper is a spoiled little brat. He doesn't want to do anything, so he's just there lounging around, and he thinks his father's going to kick him out and send him back home to just be spoiled. But his father changes it up and sends him to this like island, that struggles to get mail delivered. And he told him you have to do 6,000 deliveries by a certain time, before you can come home. And he just drops him off on a boat or whatever. And Jesper shows up to this town, and it's dark. It has smog surrounding it. It's nobody there, and it's a real ugly town. And he's not a hard worker or anything like that. And he runs into the people who run the town, and it's these two groups of people, the Crumbs and the Ellingbows. And the Ellingbows and Crumbs have a rivalry. Like they fight all the time. It's generational that they've just been fighting all the time. The town is basically split into two halves. It's a fence going around with a hole in the fence, and they just do bad things to each other throughout the whole movie. Like no matter what, for no reason at all. They just always at war. And Jesper, he tries to get people to write letters, and he comes across this kid who draws a picture, and he tries to mail the picture, but the kid doesn't have a stamp. And he eventually finds this house, and he's trying to go up there to see if anybody has mail. And that's when he comes across Claus. And it's not the Santa Claus, fat guy, all happy all the time and jolly. This guy, he looks sad. He looks depressed. He's bulky. He's bulky. He like strong looking. He walks around with an axe and everything. And when they first interact with each other, they don't speak. But Jasper drops the picture. The guy picks it up. He sees in the picture that the boy is in his house, but he's like sad. And he eventually finds Jesper, and he's like, "Where is this?" And Jesper shows him, and he gives him a gift that's wrapped up. And he's like, "Go put it in the house, not outside the house. Put it in the house." So that happens, and they see the joy on the kid's face. And all of a sudden, kids are showing up to Jesper like, "Hey, I have a letter. I want a toy. I have a letter. I want a toy." And that just starts the whole story in terms of everyone sending letters, Jesper building this relationship with Claus, and it changes the dynamic of the town. The town starts looking alive. It starts looking pretty and beautiful, and it's just a really beautiful story with a lot of heart. I guess it's a negative. It's not even a negative for me, but in terms of like an animated movie, there's no big song or sing along moment or anything like that in this movie, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to always animated movies doesn't always have to have like a big song in the background. But I was just watching the movie really happy. It was a really joyful time watching the movie, watching kids connect with each other, like because they had to deal with their parents saying, "Listen, we don't play with the other side. We don't like them. We go to war, we fight." And the kids having toys, and it starts bringing them together and having them do good things for other people, not looking for anything in return, the selfless acts. And it's just a great story. It's a great holiday movie that showed up out of nowhere. It's a really good animated film that the whole family can enjoy. And I recommend watching it, honestly. There's some other characters. There's a teacher there. She shows up in that town trying to teach, and none of the kids go to school, but then they want to learn how to write. And some of them can't spell their name, so they end up going back to the school. And it's just like it's joy and happiness when you watch the movie, and it takes you for a trip, and the ending of it is just something I didn't expect, and it was just a good time watching a small little film that I didn't even know was coming out. But the, I think of it as the origin of Santa. As Jesper is going around with him, he's coming up with these tales. He's telling the kids there's a naughty list. Uh, the whole thing with if you don't behave, you get a lump of coal. He does that as well, and he's just creating this tale for this guy who's just in reality a gentle giant, and it's a really touching and warming movie. So Claus is on Netflix. I think you should check it out. If you watched it, let me know what you think. And what's some of your favorite holiday movies? I'm a big Polar Express guy myself. But thank you for listening. Deuces.